Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Sandy. This is my Christmas in July 2019 project for Country Craft Creations. I created this ornament card using papers from last season and different elements that I had in my stash. So I'm going to show you how to make this. This is a shaker card here on the front. You can see all the elements that shake around. And then this opens up on the inside. You have a place for a photo and a message here on the inside of your card, and then it has the string hanger that you could hang it on a Christmas tree. So I'm going to show you how to make this. So let's get started. To create the ornament Christmas card, you need to gather up different supplies that you might want to use. Now this time of the year in July, not all the new Christmas stuff is out, but if you're like me, you probably keep all your Christmas stuff from the previous years. So I have a collection pack that I got from Country Craft Creations last season. This is Cartabella's Christmas paper collection, and so I'm going to use some of the papers from this and the sticker sheets. So I've already pulled out some of the papers. I specifically pulled out the one sheet. I need just one sheet of the snowflakes, and the back of it was the wood. So that's the pattern paper I'm going to be using for this particular ornament card. And then I also pulled out the sticker sheet here, and then this cut apart page with the black snowflakes and this deer here on the front. So I think I may use that. Other supplies you're going to need just different sequins. If you don't have any tiny snowflakes, you can punch them out. If you have a small punch, I use a border punch and punch some small snowflakes. I had a Christmas mix of sequins, the large gold, and I may not use all of this. I pulled out some little tiny jingle bells. I have these plastic snowflakes, which might be good into a shaker thing that I cut from a small garland that I had left over from last year, and some of the beads. So I have that. I have some consiera, some seed beads in gold and white, some stickers. I have Christmas charms, and I have pre-cut my paper for my ornament. If you want a rustic look on the background, these I roughly cut circles, and this is out of craft cardstock, a lighter weight craft cardstock, and then I tattered the edges. I'm going to glue these two together. You can use a paper bag, whatever you might have that you might want to just give it some texture on the back. So I use these 3 nesting circle dies. So I used one that cuts to 3 1/4, and then I used one that cuts to, looks like this one's 3 1/4, so this one would be 3 3/4. Sorry about that. 3 3/4, 3 1/4, and then I also used a circle that cuts to 2 3/4. Like I said, these are nesting dies. If you have a circle cutter, you can use that. You're going to need some twine for your ornament, and these are already pre-cut. You're going to need some plastic, like from packaging or a page protector. You're going to need that. Your art glitter glue. And I also cut out some gold paper that I had left, glitter gold paper. So this is the pattern paper that I'm using from the collection here. I have the red with the white snowflakes, and then this is the back side, which is the wood look. And then I used white cardstock. Now, for the folding part of my card base, I just cut it with my die. This would be the bigger die. 3 3/4, and I lined it up so that I had a very narrow margin that would not be cut to make the top. I'm not doing this on camera because my machine is not where the camera is, and it's electric, and I don't want to have to try to plug it all in here. I cut an extra solid base out of the white, and then I cut several nesting rings out of pretty good weight white cardstock, and I've cut 4. I like to use these for my shakers instead of foam, because foam, my pieces start sticking to it. I cut a small piece of the gold for my ornament hanger. This is 1/2 inch by 2. So we've got all this together, so we're ready to assemble the ornament, and then I will decorate it. I'll probably do that in a speeded up version. So just go to all your leftover Christmas stuff you had from last year, your different flowers, snowflakes, stickers, ribbons, whatever you might have left, and paper collection, and create a beautiful ornament Christmas card. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this piece that I cut and left the little bit here attached in the middle. I didn't cut it with the die. That's about a 1/2 inch there that's still attached. And then I cut 2 separate single big ones because this cardstock that I could cut through my die cut machine is not really heavy. It's a Nina weight that you can get at large department stores or office supplies. And I am going to glue one to the front and the back. This is just double up and make it stronger because it's going to be a card, but you also want to be able to hang it on the tree if someone wanted to. So it doesn't matter where you put it, we're just going to put it one on the front and one on the back. So line it up and then go ahead and burnish that to make sure they stick down good together. So I'm just adding strength to my card base. And put this one on the other side. Okay, so now I want to find where the top is, which is right here. And I'm going to take this little 2-inch piece, half inch by 2-inch piece, and I'm going to glue that. This is the ornament hanger part. And I'm going to find the back side here. Now I want it to stick up a little bit, so I'm going to glue these together. I folded it in half, so I'm gluing this piece together. And then I'm going to glue it to the back side of my card, right here. Make sure I've got the right direction that I want. So I'm going to glue this right here on the back of my card. So I'm going to put some glue. Turn this the wrong way. Okay. Now in the back of my card, I'm going to put the glue right here where that fold line is. That's some glue. And then I'm going to glue this down here and hold it. So that's going to be the, turn it this way, the top of the ornament. So make sure that it's in the right place. Trim this off just a little bit. And make sure it's where that fold is of the card. Like that. I'm just going to let that dry. Now that I'm going to take these rustic pieces here, I'm going to put glue to the back of my card over that hanger part, and I'm just going to start layering this. Now I did 2 on mine, and you can do 1 or 2, or you could use a doily, or if you have a scallop, a large scallop circle, that would look good too. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit more this way. I want this up not as high. So I may actually trim this down a little bit. And then I'm going to glue this other one on there too, just for extra support and to fill in any gaps. So I'll lay that right there, like that. going to, I should have roughed this up before, but I think I can get most of it done. So I'm going to use the edge of my scissors and just kind of tatter up some of the edges here. Okay, so that works. There's that. On the back here, I am going to cover the back with some snowflakes. So this is the large size. You could use either side that you wanted to. I'm just going to apply some glue and seal this up on the back of the card. And now I'm ready to start layering up here on the front. Now I'm going to put this gold piece here. And line it up the best I can. Like that. See how the card still opens right there. Okay, so now let's get ready to build up for our shaker part. So I'm taking just one of these rings that I cut. Now I cut 4 and then I have the finishing piece. And you might want more than that. I'm going to check and see how it looks with 4. See if I like the height. Get that lined up pretty good. Make sure you burnish it down. Because you do want it to stick. And I'm going to layer these others right on top. And like I said earlier, I like to use layers of cardstock instead of foam tape because it doesn't leave any sticky residue on the sides where my little shaker elements will stick. And then they won't shake. Okay, so I have 3 layers on. I'm going to put a 4th one here. Here on the bottom here. Just run a line of glue all the way around. Make sure it's sealed up because you don't want any of your little shaker bits coming out. Okay, now I also want some of this red in here. So I cut one of these out. This is a smaller circle. And let me see, I think I may need a few more rings out of cardstock, so I'm going to cut some more of that off camera and then we'll keep layering those up. I went ahead and cut out 4 more rings because I really want this to have enough lift for my shaker parts. And again, I used 2 nested dies to get these rings this size. So I'm going to go ahead and keep gluing these on. So you will use a total of 8 spacer rings made out of cardstock. These are out of 110-pound Nina cardstock. So 8 of these glued together, stacked on top of each other, gives me about, looks like a 1/16 of an inch, a little over a 1/16 of an inch of lift. So now we're ready to add some of my pieces. So these should fit in just fine, these plastic snowflakes. About 12. And I think the beads will work too. I'm going to cut some string off of them because they're sparkly and They came off the snowflakes, so I think look good in there. So just drop these in, and then I'm going to add some gold seed beads. And then let's do a few white ones. And look at, there's my plastic. My clear plastic's hard to see. These are smaller white ones. I could stop with that, but I think I want to use some of these Christmas mix colors. Got blue and some sequins red. Put that in there. A few of those. Come on. They like to stick to me. Last red one. Okay. And do I want any of these paper snowflakes? Maybe a few. Okay, that should do it. Now, we have everything within this space, so we want to take our clear piece that goes over it, and it's going to glue down onto the lift, the spacers, the cardstock. So put glue all the way around. Make sure you get glue on all of it. Okay, spread this out. Right here some. It's thick. I don't want it oozing out a lot, so I'm going to spread this out some. Kind of flatten it out. Okay, now we take the clear piece that I cut with the large, again the large die. Place that on there, make sure it's straight. Not sticking out anywhere. I want it to fit exactly. And then the last thing we're going to put glue, we're going to use this brown piece here. Another ring, the final ring out of pattern paper. The top of my, with the lines of the wood going the correct direction. It's okay if a little bit of the white shows. Probably put some snowflake. So this we're going to let dry. Let me see. And it shakes. There's a few that hang that are larger, but that's going to be okay. Shake it enough, they might come loose. That one right there. Everybody else pretty much, except for the little round balls. Okay, so next we'll let this dry, and then I'll be ready to start decorating. And I did fussy cut out of the cut aparts this deer, so it's going to go here somewhere in this. Okay. Oops. Card kind of slid there. All right, there we go. Now I do want to punch a hole here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with my Crop-A-Doll right quick. Use the large size. Right in the center. And that's where the string's going to go. Right there. So I may add some paper there or something, but I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I want to do to decorate this. Off camera, I did a few more die cutting things. I used the gold paper scraps that I had and punched out a couple of leaves and some holly vines. And then I also punched them out of green, which was a lighter green. I kind of wanted it to match my green in my sequins here. So I did use Color Philosophy Enchanted Woods green. It's a real pretty green, and I went over the paper, so I'm letting those dry. And I tied a bow out of red seam binding, Hug Snug seam binding ribbon, and spritzed it with water. I used my water spritzer, and I let it get crinkly, squeezed it up, and dried it with my air dryer heat gun. So I've got all that. Excuse me. I also went to my scraps, and I found a couple of pieces that I still had. So I'm going to open up this inside right here. And I want to kind of finish this off. So I cut a little slight straight edge here at the top. So I'm going to glue this on the edge. This was left over from cutting out rings. So I'm going to use the wood part. So I'll just put glue along all of this. And this just kind of finish the edge on the inside of this card. And make sure this straight edge here goes at the top where the fold is. There we go. Get it as close to the edge as you can. So it looks good. Okay. Burnish that on with your fingers or your bone folder. So that kind of just finishes that edge a little bit. And then I thought I have a couple of these. I'm just going to ink this a little bit with the Potion, which is a dark gray. So I'm going to glue this to the inside top. I'll let the snowflake show. Okay, so, whoops. Now let's just stick this here in the center. Kind of center that circle. And it just kind of finishes off that inside. So this is left where you could write a sentiment, or you could circle cut and add a photo in there. So now I'm ready to just start layering and decorating here on the front. So I think I'm going to start by putting some of this pieces that I cut. So I'm just going to put glue right here on the center. And that's going to go over this way, so I'll do it this side some. And let's just lay this on. So you just start layering up your different elements that you have. And then that gold is really pretty, but I want some green kind of offset in there with it. And it's going to be kind of loose. I just want it attached in certain places. Just enough to hold it in place. Maybe right here on the end. Let's do that. Kind of like that. So the gold's kind of peeking out from behind it. So I got to press down and make sure it sticks. It sticks to my finger sometimes. Okay, like that. And these I cut out the opposite way so that they would curve around the other way. And I'm going to put this one down here on the bottom. One of the leaves came off, so I'm going to stick that one back on there. There we go. And now the green one. deer is going to fit like in here. I'm trying to decide if I want to lift it up. So I think I'm going to get some foam dots, or foam squares. Hang on just a second. I had these little foam squares. They're not quite the thickness I wanted, so I doubled them up on the back of my deer. So I put them here in the body part. And I have had glue dots or foam tapes come loose from projects before, so I'm just putting a small dot of art glitter glue right on the center of each one. And I'm going to go ahead and place him on there. Just like that. Okay, now we want the flowers, the poinsettias. Like that one here. Now, do I want to use these leaves? I did cut the leaves, they're kind of big. Let me look and see. Kind of like that. So I'm going to take some glue. Put the gold down first, right in here, and then the green one. Just kind of offset it just a little bit here. And then my flower is going to go right there. Oops. I have a smaller one here, and I may put that one right in there. And I may decide if I want another leaf like here, tucked in probably. Tuck it in right there. What I did is I pulled this center part off of this flower to make it smaller. I often do that to adjust the size of my flowers. Then I'll save that other part because you can always add a new center to it. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry, and then we'll add some more stuff. So the flowers have dried and the greenery, the deer is on. I added a little snowflake sticker right up here, and then I'm going to attach my bow right in there. A lot of glue here on the center of it. Now if you don't want a bow, you could just leave that off, of course. Oops, it's got it upside down. I want it this way. I want the tails hanging down. There we go. That, and then I had this charm. I cut the ring off the top. It says Jingle Bells. This is an old one from my stash in a frame. I'm going to glue that right here onto the frame here of this ornament. Kind of at an angle. That. So I'm really liking how it looks. I'm going to decide on a few more things. I'm going to let these dry, and then I'll share again what I've done. We're about ready to finish up this little ornament card. So I took some of the natural button twine that I have, and I cut off about 20 inches, folded it in half, and then tied a knot about, see here, 6 inches down, which left these tails. And on the tails, I tied 2 gold jingle bells and 2 different snowflakes. This one is a wood glittered one, and this is a real pretty metalled one with some rhinestones and a rhinestone on the bottom that I had in my stash. I thought these were really pretty. So this is going to make the tie. So I'm going to feed this through the looped top part through the hole. Now if you wanted to add a metal grommet or eyelet, you could. I don't know if I want to put one in there or not. It would give it more strength, that's for sure. So let's grab one of those. So let's see what color we got. Let's go with a gold, I think. Could do white. I'm going to go with gold if I can grab it. And my crocodile's laying right here. So let's put this in, drop it into that hole so that the finished side is here on the front. And then I'm going to grab my crocodile and the eyelet setter. Line it up and give it a good squeeze. And see, that presses it down on the back. So that strength adds strength to that hole. So now let's take this loop. We're going to stick this through, bring it out the back here, and I'm going to feed the ends through and pull this up just like that. So this hangs down, and you can fix it so that you can tie it here. I've got a loop here for tying it. You can adjust that length for whatever you need. So it would hang like that on a Christmas tree with these hanging down. Can you see that right there? There's where the knot is. So I like that. And then here on the bow, I went ahead and tied a loopy button twine bow to match that. I'm going to put that right here in the center of this seam binding bow. Right there. Just like that. Let that kind of pull these loops around. And then I have a sticker from the collection, and I'm going to put some glue on the back of it to make sure it's secured down. And it has a snowflake on it. It's red with a snowflake. Put it right there. So I think that finishes this up. This is my Christmas in July project for Country Craft Creations. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you watch all of the designers' Christmas in July videos on YouTube. Going to have a lot of fun projects for this event. And check out countrycraftcreations.com for your crafting supplies. Thank you. Bye-bye.